Now let's create a new 2D draft file. So I'll click on New Draft, come down to Sheet 1, right mouse click, and just say I'd like to use the 2D model. Now I have a clean sheet of paper. I'll come up to Rectangle by Center, and I'll place a rectangle. And you'll notice these symbols right here on this rectangle. And also, if I go click anywhere, I'm still in the rectangle command. If I come down here and click, oh, I'm still creating rectangles. How do I get out of that? Just hit the select key. And now I'm clear of all the commands I'm in. Now, if I come up to this line and select it and grab the corner and it highlights in red, if I move that, I can move it anywhere, flip it inside out, but it will always be horizontal and the other line will always be vertical. That won't change. And that's what constraints do. They maintain vertical horizontal. And if I came up to my actual constraints under the relate command, let's look at this equal constraint. I'll click on that and say I'd like this to be equal to this. And I'll hit the select command to clear everything. Now if I come back to any one of these lines, click on the corner and pull that out, you see it won't turn into a rectangle, and that's because those lines are equal. So I've added another constraint. Let's come over to the line command. If I draw a line, same thing, you'll see the constraint on there. Right mouse click to get out of the command, draw another line, you see it adds a constraint at the center. I'll come back to the line command, and also note, as I draw this line, there's an indicator saying, hey, you're horizontal. Great, select, another indicator saying you're vertical. And I could come back and close that off. And if I touch on this line and grab the corner, you can see it'll move around. That line will, because there's no constraint on that line. But these other two lines, horizontal, vertical. Now, I could delete this constraint. If I just box pick that and hit delete from the keyboard, the constraint is gone. Now, if I come back to this line and grab that corner, you can see I move that around accordingly. And I could put the constraint back on there if I want. I could come up here to the horizontal constraint and add that back on. There's a number of options here. Let's go to the undo button. So right up here you'll see undo. I'll hit undo and it puts it back to where it was. And I could have used a different constraint. I could come up here, say I want a right angle triangle. I'll use perpendicular. Say I'd like this to be perpendicular to this. And now there's a little symbol in there saying that's perpendicular. Now, one thing you may want to watch out for, I've had students tell me, well, I'm not seeing these constraints. And so what they've inadvertently done is turn this button off right here. So if you turn that off, the constraints are gone. So the question is, where are my constraints? There's no constraints. Well, again, you've accidentally turned off relationship handles. So just turn that back on.